Good morning. How are you today? Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the debt update. Not going to be a lot of traction because if you don't know, I went on a trip this month. The trip, I was going to say heard around the world, but so I went on a trip to London and Edinburgh. It was the best of times and the worst of times at points, but overall, great trip. Don't regret it. It was wonderful. So I was grounded before, but now I'm super grounded. And by that I mean this trip ended up costing me a total of about $2,500. Yeah, I had budgeted for about almost $2,000, I think it was. By all said and done, I used my emergency fund as kind of like a trip fund, so that way I wouldn't have to put any money on my credit card.
I'm editing and I meant to say interest. I didn't want to add any interest onto the card because obviously I'm traveling in a foreign country. I'm not using my debit card. I used my credit card, but as soon as I got back to the States, I was going to make a payment to fully pay it off.
In case you don't know, I went on a trip to Edinburgh and London. It was kind of all stemming around seeing Taylor Swift. We ended up not seeing Taylor Swift. It's a long story. I have a video about it. But I had allocated about $2,000 for the trip in general, and that was supposed to include food, lodging, and miscellaneous events if we wanted to see attractions. Oh my God. That took a lot more brain effort than it needed to, I feel like, but we kind of ended up doing a little bit more Ubering, when we were more in Edinburgh, so didn't account for that. What else? Everything was marked up so much in Edinburgh because of Taylor Swift, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. It's fine, it doesn't matter. But either way, I went $500 over what we were supposed to, so I was so that kind of sucks because I thought that I was going to be able to make a lot more movement towards the debt this month. Because if you remember last month, I kind of also put a hold on the debt because I was oh shit, we got to allocate all this money. We got to do something about the trip, right? The trip. Poor planning on my part. I always thought I was a good planner, but now it's abundantly clear that that's something I really need to work on and that I lack at. So now I have to take the $500 that I went over budget and kind of put that towards the trip, right? I've already done that. Luckily, no interest was accumulated on the debt because I did not want that. That's what I was trying to avoid at all costs, that everything basically got paid out of pocket. I was able to do that, but now I'm broke. Well, to be honest, I was broke anyway, but okay. Now, let's get into these numbers before I dilly-dally and talk even more. If you notice here, our left to spend is in the negative. Again, that's because of the trip. So I wasn't really sure how to kind of allocate for this, but I just kind of put it in miscellaneous because technically $500 of that came out. But yeah, so we got all of our bills here. Nothing changed. Gas is still on that weird credit thing, which thank God. I think that actually helped a lot because that was able to put towards that $500 extra that was on the trip. So that kind of worked out. Electricity was of course more expensive now. We're getting in the summer months, so on and so forth. Student loan. I thought this whole time it was $141. It's actually $143 or something like that. So I just put it to $145. So I was I don't know. I feel they're creeping up the number every time I look at it, it feels like. I don't know. I think it's a me problem realistically, not a them problem, but I don't know. And also, I'm not sure if this amount will be changing and going higher now that I make more money because I was on that income driven amount payment plan. And so now that I make more, I make $20,000 more, I'm sure that this is going to get hiked up as well. Groceries is low because the first week of June I was out of the country, and then for the second week I just kind of stayed in the pantry because I was I went $500 over, I want to cry, you know what I mean? But then this week I actually had to get groceries because I ate everything else. But yeah, so that's why groceries is so much lower. Again, I feel that kind of helped with the trip aspect. And then of course we have our regular schmegular Apple Discover. And then here I added the water heater in here. So this is the total of the water heater. This is mainly for my own notes because there's not really like a place to put, you know, how much it is, but I don't know. In case you're curious, that's how much that water heater is. I don't owe anything on it until November, and that's when it starts like getting the interest and stuff. So it's very important that I pay this off before November. I could totally do that. So that's what we're working on next. My savings, gotta build that back up because now I depleted that like $800, I think it was, that I had in savings. Build that back up slowly. But yeah, for my expense trackers, like I said, literally just groceries. When I totaled up how much this trip actually cost, I had a marvelous time. It was so much fun, and it's going to be a long time before I'm ever able to do another trip like that again because I refuse to do a trip until I pay off my debt, obviously. Yeah, it did cost a pretty penny. Several pretty pennies. Those memories will keep me warm at night while I'm lamenting about how much debt I have. So let's take a look at this scheduled debt thing. I have not been keeping up with like these over here like this, the interest as well. I've been like really bad about filling them in because they come at the end of the month. And last month I didn't update this like at all for whatever reason. I think because I was so, by the end of the month I was so like trying to get ready for the trip. It just like totally escaped my mind to check. But yeah, you will see here that Apple Pay kind of went up a little bit. I had to buy a couple of things for the trip on Amazon. So that's where you're seeing that. But a lot of it has to get returned because I ended up like not even using it or bringing it with me anyway. So I'll see a return in that money. But yeah, everything else is like pretty standard. This is because of like, what's it called? The interest and whatever. So that went up a little bit. I did pay a lot more of the Amex and stuff. I also think I'm going to add in here a little additional column, I guess, for that water heater. Words are hard. But yeah, that way I can kind of add it to the list. It's with the rest of its kin, and we can kind of get working on that because that is the one we are going to knock out next. But yeah, I'm so sorry that this update for these last 2 months have been not really moving, but that's life, you know. There's going to be ups and downs. Some months are going to be better than other months, and some months are going to just be stagnant, while we have some months where I'm able to put like a ton of money towards it, towards my debt, you know. So I guess that's just kind of life. Things happen. I have a plan in place, so I just need to stick to it, follow it, and everything's going to work out fine. But yeah, so that is everything. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Dead update, kicking me in the teeth.